Good morning, and thank you so much for being here. My name is Gregory, and I want to talk to you today about choosing joy. This is Benjamin Mee and his two children, Rosie and Dylan. Their lives were pretty changed in 2011. Their life story was made into a movie called We Bought a Zoo. You may have seen it. And in this movie, his wife has just died, and he's left in charge of taking care of his young children. And so he does the unthinkable. He pulls them out of everything they've ever known, and he buys a zoo that is falling apart. The cages are falling down, the animals are dying, and he moves them there. Most people wouldn't understand why, but he chose to see joy in this, and we watched their journey in finding joy in their life again. Little Rosie is a fountain of joy. She sees the awe in every breath of life. She's so excited just to experience another day. Whereas Dylan, we see him see all the negatives, why he has to be there, why he has to do things. You see, I think there's a difference in happiness and joy. Happiness depends on what happens to us, and joy is being grateful for everything. You see, there's a difference between someone who woke up this morning and thinks, I have to be here today, and that person who applied to one college and remembers what it was like to open their acceptance letter. There's a difference between those that get up in the morning and think, I have to wear contacts or glasses, and that person that gets up and knows that maybe in 5 or 10 years they won't be able to see and is grateful for just one more day before the world becomes a memory. There's a difference between an athlete that gets up and thinks, I have practice today, and my legs are sore, my arms are sore, and that 80-year-old woman who is thankful to get off her bed on her own strength one more day. There's a difference between those people that get up and see all that they have to do, their job, their classes as a responsibility, and those that are grateful that they just woke up one more day. There's this idea about joy. Happiness is like a bucket. It runs out and has to be refilled. Whereas joy is like a fountain. And the special thing about joy is it overflows into others. So kind of like this little goose, he probably got wet from the fountain because the water probably splashed out on him. And joy is the same way. It can overflow out of us. It's relentless and it never gives up. We see this in the movie Up. Carl here, his wife has died, and they're building skyscrapers all around his house, and he's just not into it. Russell here is a fountain of joy. He never gives up and he never loses hope on Carl. Even when Carl sends him onto his front porch to find this bird that does not exist, he never gives up, and he is so happy just to experience life with Carl. I think that choosing joy requires us to embrace uncertainty. Choosing joy does not mean that you're always going to be happy. It doesn't mean that everyone's always going to be nice to you, and it doesn't mean that bad things still won't happen, because they will. But joy means that you take nothing for granted. Every breath you're grateful for, and you see everything as grace that's given to you. I think choosing joy requires us to think eternally, because I think life is made of those little things, not those big things we build it up to. A week ago today, I was at a concert with a friend in Lynchburg, and the band invited us up to the front. And I remember to my right, there was a woman probably in her 50s sitting with her husband, and she had a front row ticket, and she was so angry that the band had invited these people up to the front. And I remember her crying and eventually leaving the concert because someone else was in front of her. She didn't see the joy that she was in the front and that these people just wanted a moment to be close. To my left, there was a man and his wife, and they were probably in their 80s. And I remember this man, he got up and he could barely stand. And he got up and he told his wife, can you believe all these young people? And he started praying over us that we would just have a great time and be safe. See, I think that man chose joy. He saw that even though there were people in front of him, and he couldn't even see the concert anymore, these other people just wanted a moment. Whereas that lady chose happiness and let it ruin everything. She didn't even see how great she had it. You see, if you died tonight, what would your life mean? Because in the end, we'll all come down to 2 dates and a dash on a headstone. Your dash is what you'll be remembered for. I hope you choose joy. Thank you.